of you who sew out there, for quilters out there, this paper just really speaks to that to me. So I was like, I'm just going to do like some basic paper weaving cards here. So if you guys want to hang out for that, that's going to be great. But yeah, let me know where you're watching from. How's the weather where you are? It is beautiful here today. So even though Connor has been under the weather, that's my little boy. We've started the medicine and things, so hopefully his ear will be feeling better soon. But yeah, everything just kind of shifts around whenever we're staying home from school. So let me go ahead and share some information about this paper share, and then I'll talk more about In Color Club at some point this weekend. I'm going to try to do my best to jump on live and go over that in a video with you just one more time so that you guys have the info. But let's see if I can share this. This is it right here. Okay. So let's talk about this for just a minute. So if you have never participated in a paper share before, what it is basically getting a sampler of I am doing 13 designer series papers. And the reason that it's 13 is because I'm actually including the new In Color paper, the 2023-2025 In Color paper, in addition to the 12 designer series papers that are in the catalog. These are the regular designer series paper packs. They're fabulous. This catalog is incredible. You guys are going to love it. For those of you who get catalogs from me, you should either have received it or be receiving it any minute now. But they're fabulous. Anyway, instead of having to buy all of the full designer series paper packs on your own, this is a great way to get a quarter pack of each of those papers in a 6x6 size. So what that does is that gives you a really nice variety of all of these different papers and themes and colors and patterns and all of that that you can craft with throughout the year. So I've had a lot of fun showcasing and featuring designer series papers with shares. So this is something that's kind of new to me, but maybe you participate in shares all the time. You'll have to let me know. So this is the annual catalog share. Stampin' Up comes out with, I think it's 3 catalogs a year. So they always do new designer series paper with their catalogs, and we have been doing shares. So the annual catalog is great because it's all occasion, all year, different themes, so much fun. So as part of my share, if that is something that you are interested in, like I said, if you want information on that, let me know. But it's going to be 13 new designer series papers from the catalog. Again, you'll get a quarter pack of each paper in a 6x6 size. So some of these papers come full size, meaning 12x12, and I cut them down to 6x6 and we share them out. So I do that in 4s. And then registration just opened on the 26th and it's closing on Monday. It's closing May 1st. And the reason for that is because I want to be able to get that order in on launch day. So when the catalog actually launches on May 2nd, I'm putting in the order that day. And the reason that I'm doing that is because it's going to be a big day. It's going to be an exciting launch, and we can already tell it's popular. It's a popular catalog. So I just want to be sure I get that order in. And then once I place that order, when it arrives to me, I'll start working on everything, cutting everything up, packing everything. For those of you who are interested in the add-on class, there are 2 options for my paper share where you could do the share only option. And then if you like to have ideas just kind of right away when you get your share, there is an add-on class where we'll be doing some different ways, different cards, 4 card kits, showcasing some of that new paper to give you some ideas so that you can work with it right away. So the deadline to register will be May 1st on that. And so let me just scroll down here. So here, if you guys have any questions, let me know. But the share only option is $60, and that includes shipping. If you choose to do the paper share with the add-on class, what that means is you'll get 4 pre-cut and scored card kits. So that means the paper, the die cut pieces, and all of that will be in there. You will do the stamping, the gluing, and the assembly. You'll get an exclusive video tutorial. It's pre-recorded, so you can watch it whenever you want. And then you will also get an exclusive PDF with the pictures, the measurements, the instructions for those 4 cards as well. So if you have any questions about the add-on, you can let me know, but it's optional. Don't feel like you have to do that unless you want to. I love to use my new papers right away. I love to design classes for you guys. So that's always something I like to add on with like an event. So here is the list of the papers that we're going to be doing with this particular paper share from the catalog. The one thing that I did want to point out is that what we won't have in this paper share are specialty papers. So these are the regular designer series papers, and there's a lot of them and all different, all different themes and styles. It's such a nice variety. So again, if you have any questions, let me know. I'm going to go ahead and stop the share here, but I just wanted to go ahead and talk about that just for a minute today. And again, if you are more interested in collecting the new in colors, you can do that too. It's totally up to you. Moody Mauve is going to be the first color. The walls in this office right behind me, I don't know if you could tell, are Moody Mauve. It's so funny. My purse is mauve. My phone case, which is clipped up right now, is mauve. I love rose gold and mauve. Like it's no secret. So that's why I chose that one for the first color. Let's see if I have any comments here. Hi, Tracy. How are you? So happy to see you. Happy to hang out. What's the weather like in Australia today? Let me know. So I'm going to go ahead and switch down to the table now, and we're just going to do some basic paper weaving tonight. And then I will, you know what? I do. I have my paper trimmer because that's going to be our main tool tonight. But I'll go through the papers just in case you haven't seen them yet. So this is one of those things that, I've been trying to work with some of those new goodies that I have. And then of course, another order will go in on the 2nd. So it's going to be a fun month, but I can't believe that we're already at the end of April. It's just absolutely crazy. So let's go ahead and switch now. Okay. So, let me just show you I have 3 cards, but I messed one up, and I'll show you what I did. So with this particular designer series paper pack called Countryside Inn, it just reminded me so much of like just quilting and blankets and just, I don't know, just very traditional style patterns. Like I just thought they were really fun. I thought that they would blend really nicely together. So here are 2 of the cards, and then here's the one that I messed up. So I was experimenting, and I actually love this one. Maybe we can make this one live. I love this one, but I was experimenting because when you do paper weaving with our designer series paper, it's 2-sided. So I was like, what if I did a window and you could actually see the pattern on both sides? So that was my initial thought. Okay, but here's what I did. I don't know if you can see this, but I accidentally put glue all over the wrong side before I put it down. Oh, I was screaming. So it happens. We all do it, right? So I was thinking I could do maybe like a little vellum overlay. If you guys have ideas as to how I can fix this, shout it out. Maybe I could put a window sheet over it. I don't know if that would look weird, but I would like to salvage this card if I can manage it. So if anybody has any ideas, let me know. But this was the idea. Now, I'm going to admit to you right now, this is optional. Don't feel like you have to do like a window in the middle of your card base, but wouldn't that be cool? Because you can actually see both sides of the designer series paper. Now, I'm going to tell you, I don't know if I can deal with not having rectangle dies. Are we going to be able to stand this? Because I'm already having issues with it. I cut this rectangle out with my paper trimmer, so it's doable, but I have to say, I need my rectangle dies. So we're going to have to figure that out. But this was like my favorite one of all the ones that I did. I mean, they're all cool, but this one was fun because the bunny is peeking out everywhere. So anyway, I love paper weaving. Like I said, I don't do this a lot. I do this like once a year, but it's fun when you want to mix some patterns, or if you just want to kind of sit down and make a fun card set with like a paper share, for example. So I'll show you what we're going to do here. For our card bases, we're going to be using a returning color and a brand new color. So we're going to be using Misty Moonlight. So when I cut out these card bases the other night, I knew I was going to be saving the blues for this. So we're going to do Misty Moonlight and Azure Afternoon, and then our measurement. So for those of you who may not know, my blog tends to run at least a day behind the actual live. And the reason for that is just because of the way my schedule is. And when Connor is home, which I love having him home, I really do, but it changes things. So I tend to work at night when he's not feeling well, after he goes to sleep. So Misty Moonlight, I think we are all absolutely thrilled to have this color back. And then Azure Afternoon is brand new. So we're going to be using these two card bases, 4¼ by 11 score at 5.5. I'll get measurements and stuff up on the blog tomorrow. I'm going to put this card up because anything that I lay on the card will be sticky. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the Countryside in paper. Let's go through that first, and then we'll make our cards. So here, this is a 12 by 12 paper pack. So just, if you were participating in a share, it would be cut into 4, and then you would get that 6 by 6 size. A full pack has 12 sheets here, and then there's 2 patterns of each sheet. So our colors are going to be Balmy Blue, and I'm sorry I didn't get to make a color chart for you guys. Balmy Blue, Boho Blue, Misty Moonlight, and Night of Navy were like those main blues that they have in here. But I wanted to add in Azure Afternoon because there are pops of this brighter blue. So I don't know if it's technically Azure Afternoon or Tahitian Tide. Maybe this is what they mean by Balmy Blue. That might be the Balmy Blue. But I was like, I'm going to do a little bit of a brighter. And it's so subtle because it's a very narrow frame. But I think it's really pretty. So that's Azure Afternoon ink, and then an Azure Afternoon base. And then this is Misty Moonlight we have a layer of basic white here, and then a couple of layers of Night of Navy on this one for our accent color. Okay. So let's go ahead and go through those paper patterns just so that you can see them. You can see I've already been cutting here. So these are the 2 I think that we're going to use, right? Right, for this pattern. Let me just make sure. Yeah. So we're going to recreate this one that I messed it up, but I'm going to set these 2 strips aside. You'll get to see the full sheet here in just a minute. Let me put these little pieces. You could tell I've already been digging into it. So here are some full sheets. So just to kind of show you guys with the card, this pattern here is actually right here. So you can see when you're seeing it, full sheet like that, sometimes it can be kind of hard to imagine how to play with it. So I like comparing it when you're doing the different one. I think this would be so cool in the quilt like design or the weaving design too. So there's that side. And then we have this one. So one of the great things about paper weaving for me is I like when we have more of these solid patterns where there's like a subtle design, but overall has like one color versus something that's busier, like our trees over here. So this is the other side, and these have a lot of character to them because we have a bunny, we have a fox. They're really cute. So we have this paper here. You guys will have to you'll have to let me know how you're using this. This might be my favorite sheet from this. And I did use it. I used it here with this card. And then I just tied in. This is actually something Fancy Dyes here. And I just kind of did a little bit of a floral just to kind of, bring that little leaf and flower in, because there's like a little leaf and flower pattern right here. So you can mix and match. This has a fabulous bundle that goes with it. It's an incredible suite in the catalog. Has a embossing folder that is this pattern actually, but I did not get the whole suite. I actually just got the paper so far. So just a heads up, the Countryside suite is going to be amazing. But the paper, I'm kind of mixing and matching it as I go because I did not get the full suite in the beginning. I was really focused on a couple of other things, but the more I look at it, the more I love it. I know it's been very popular. So here's our bunny. And then here is that card right here. So the weaving with the bunny, if you guys can see that. And then our other side is this more subtle design, which I'm going to be using on the card just so that you can see that there. All right. And then here is this piece here. And that should be all of the patterns. I think I love, love, love this piece. Oh my gosh. I'll have to take a picture of the wallpaper in my kitchen. It's very similar to this paper. And so there we go. So this piece right here is this piece here. So just so you can kind of see the way that that goes. And I can see Tracy has a couple of comments here. So let me go see what she's saying. You'll have to let me know. What are you guys up to this weekend? We're not expert gardeners by any stretch of the imagination. We're really novices, and we planted too early, and we had a couple of frosts, and it's not going well. We had starters in the house, and we transferred them outside. It did not go great. So, oh well. And then for my sentiments here, I actually used Cheerful Daisies. So again, I just sort of been mixing and matching. So I used You Made My Day for this card, and then I used Your Friendship Means Everything on this card here. So just depending, and that these are both Azure Afternoon ink. Okay, and so we'll put these right here. I'm going to grab my paper trimmer. Tracy is saying it's a little overcast today, but not cold. She's doing really well. These cards are amazing. Oh, thanks, Tracy. Love the window. I do too. I don't know. I think I'm going to just stick to a regular card for this, but maybe if we have enough time or I'm feeling daring in the end, it depends. They might come back early because it depends on Connor, how Connor's feeling. They went for a drive. Have you tried using a glue eraser very lightly? No, I have not. And I have one. I do have one. It's on the other table. I might experiment with it and let you know, because I scraped it off. Like I scraped the glue off, but it was already almost dry because I did not realize my mistake right away. And I should have just put it down and used the other side. But you know, sometimes we panic. That's what happened. I panicked a little bit, but that's okay. Okay, so let me grab my paper trimmer. So what we're going to do in terms of the layering pieces, let me get those two strips. They're right on top here. And then I might need extras. So I'm going to set that over there. We'll see. We'll see if we need more than that. What we're going to do, and I'm kind of down to the end on these, I'm going to cut 1-inch strips. I'm going to start there. So if you have a pattern that goes in a certain direction, for these two, it doesn't really matter. Okay. So like for this, it can be, you know, cut either way. For this one, you would want to keep the bunny upright, right? Like, I mean, unless it wouldn't matter to you. So just be mindful of the pattern. But since it doesn't matter for these two, I'm just going to cut a couple of strips. So we're going to start with the 1-inch mark right here. And hopefully you guys can see that okay. So we're going to start with the 1-inch mark. And I should have a 1-inch piece left. It's like it's close. It's very slightly under 1 inch. I could always cut new ones, but I think that's going to be fine, honestly. And then let's go ahead and cut here too. So 1 inch. And let's see how this one is. Same thing, just very slightly under 1. It's close enough to me. But if you want it very precise, if you want exactly 1 inch for each of your strips, then go ahead and cut your new piece. And then we're basically going to cut 2 different sizes here. So just depending on how you want your pattern to be, I'm going to do my long strip with these pieces here. And so with these, I'm going to cut to 5 inches. So 1 inch by 5 inches. And we're going to need 4 of these. So we're going to do 2. All right, 2 pieces at 1 by 5. And then I'm going to take this other strip. It's going to be just a very slight bit smaller. And we're going to cut these. I'm feeling guilty. I'm feeling like I should cut into the new sheet. But let's see how bad it is. I really think it's going to be fine. I think it's fine. All right, and we're going to cut to this one too. Okay. And so we're going to have those little scrappy pieces left. All right, so this basically gives us a 4 by 5 layer. All right. And then that's fine. So, and if you want to cut yours, you know, slightly longer than that, you can do that. Now these pieces here, we're going to cut to 4 inches. So 4. I happen to already have one here and I am going to use it. So 1, 2, we need 5 of these. Okay, 4 inch, 3, 4. This should be 4 inches, the leftover piece, and it is, so we're good with that. And then we're going to cut one more. So, and I'll say this more precisely in just a minute, just so that we have the patterns. And I'm going to leave this over here just in case something weird happens, or if I put glue in the wrong place again. All right, so here, what we're going to do, just so that I'm doing this in a way that makes sense to everybody. We're going to have 5 1 by 4 inch pieces. So this is the pattern that's going to go horizontally in our paper weaving. And then we're going to have 4 strips at 1 by 5 inches. And this is in the vertical position. So there are so many different fun ways that you can do paper weaving. If you Google this, or if you go onto YouTube and do a search for paper weaving, so many different ways and ideas. I'm going to do this in a basic way. I'm just going to get my multi-purpose glue here, and I'm going to adhere mine. There's a way that you can cut these strips so that they're not completely separate. So you could just like run 1 inch strips, and then when you get like down to the last 1/4 or 1/2 inch, you could kind of have the papers connected. I decided to completely separate mine. So the way I'm going to put it back together is by using this anchor piece. So as we're starting here, I'm just going to put a little piece of, or a little dab of glue. And then I'm going to start with our end strip. And I just want to line these 2 pieces up so that this is nice and straight. Okay, so it looks like this. And I just want to make sure it's not like crooked or anything in the back. It's going to move around a little bit because it's multi-purpose glue. You're just going to have to wait a second for it to set. But you basically just want it to be straight. Okay. And so once that's secure, just, hold it or give it a pinch for a minute. We're going to take our next strip here. Okay, same pattern. So the glue is going to go on this little back pattern here. And then we're going to lay this piece over. So this is going to be an over-under situation. And you want to make sure that you're lined right up, you're bumped right up against this strip here. So again, we're going to try to keep this straight. Okay. And it's going to move a little because I'm just using enough glue to secure it. And make sure that it's straight. Okay. And so then once that's secure, we're just going to continue the process. So for this one's going to go under. So just that over under. And this is the foundational piece of our paper weave here. And that was just because I'm doing like that, typical card size where the card front is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I'm just going to do this so that it's 4 by 5 as my layer. And then I'll have a little backup layer here. So I can see that one's a little bit crooked. So I'm just going to straighten these out. And like I said, you have a minute before the glue sets. But we do want to try to keep that as straight as possible. And then let's put down our last piece. I didn't close my glue. I should have closed my glue. Okay. Now it's more important to me that these are closer together than this little end piece, because I could always, even though it's not like a perfect 1 inch piece here, even if it doesn't look perfect, I can just trim off any imperfections on the edges once this is done. Because once you have your whole weaving pattern in place, it's pretty secure. It feels like a good solid piece of paper. So it's okay. I'm just going to try to make sure that I have these lined up properly. So this is, we'll say over, under, over, under. All right. So when I take my next piece, it's going to be exactly the opposite. It's going to be under, over, and then under, over. And that's it. So we just repeat this process, right? So we're just going to get this tucked up here. You just want to try to get it as locked in and tight as possible. It really helps when the paper weaving is nice and secure. Okay. And then I would literally just take a little bit of glue and secure those pieces in place. So I'm going to just do a little dab. That's a little bit more than a dab. More came out than I wanted. So let me just get a little bit of that off of there. Okay. And then we'll just, same thing, a little dab and a little dab of glue. Just enough to hold it down. We don't need that little scrappy piece. Okay. And then I'm just going to give that a second. And we'll do our next row. So you can see like this is pretty close in terms of like bumping it up to that previous layer. And so for this piece here, we're going to go over, under, over, under. So we're going to do over, under, over, under. All right. And then we just bump it up. Okay. Now I'm just going to take a little bit of glue and secure that down. If you leave it so that the edges are together as opposed to being completely separate pieces altogether, then you won't have to secure on the edges. But here we're definitely going to do that. Just to make sure it holds. Okay. And I think that looks really cute. Okay. So for our next one, we'll go under, over. So under, over, under, over. All right. This is a good video for those of you who are crafting along with me. Same thing. So if it gets out of line, you can the further down you go, the easier it gets to line them up because this becomes like a secure piece. It's thicker once you have everything interlocking, so it's easier to work with. Okay. I think that looks great. And if you do have any little gaps, it's okay because you'll have a piece of designer or you'll have like a cardstock layer behind it, or you'll have your card base behind it. And so for this last one, we'll go over, under. So over, under, over, under. And then you'll see, even as I'm bumping this up, there's a little bit of an edge here, like we have a little bit of a gap, and that's okay. We'll just trim it off. So it might be slightly under 5 inches in the end. If that really bothers you, you could give yourself like a little extra piece, or, instead of cutting it exactly at 5, cut it at 5 1/8 or 5 1/4. And then you can cut off the excess so that it measures to 5. But for me, it didn't matter. It really wasn't about being like the perfect measurement. But my goal was 4 by 5. Okay, and so put that piece down. And then I just want to see if I can edge that a little bit. It looks like I can. And then we'll just glue this piece down. Okay, I'm getting to the end of that bottle there. All right, so now I'm going to take my paper trimmer. I really want to make sure that the glue is set. I just want to make sure that this is secure, so I'm just going to give this a minute. But then I will take my paper trimmer and I'm just going to cut a hair right off of the edge here and just a little bit off of the bottom here. And then I'll get that nice even piece there. Okay. So I'm just going to give it a little bit of a trim there. Get rid of those little excess pieces. And then I'll just do a little bit of a trim right here too. Okay. So this is, for me, I find activities like this really calming. This is something that I could, if I had the time, I could spend hours just making different versions of this. I'm also somebody who finds it calming to color, right? So it just depends on if this is something that you're like, oh, I definitely love doing that type of thing. I have patience for that. Or you might be like, are you kidding me? I am not doing that. So totally up to you. Okay, so let's take a look at these card bases. And let's see which one we like it on. I love it on the Misty Moonlight. And then here, let's take a look at it on Azure Afternoon. So this one I don't feel is quite the right fit because I'm not seeing really any of this color here. So let's save that for a different one. And then we'll cut a layer with our Night of Navy cardstock too. And that will just be our layering piece. So I'm just gonna, with my bone folder, burnish that edge. We'll put this on in just a minute. And then I'm going to cut my basic, no, not basic. I'm gonna cut my Night of Navy. I wanted to say basic black, but that is not correct. To 4 1/8 by 5 1/4. Okay, so we're gonna cut it to, can you guys still see me? Am I on camera there? Yeah. Okay, so 4 1/8. By 5 1/4. All right, and so that's going to become our layering piece here. And then we could do another, You Made My Day. We could do just like another really simple piece. So I'm going to cut a strip of that so that we can cut out our little die cut. So that is this one, right here. So this one here, we're going to cut this piece. This is from the Something Fancy dies. We're going to cut it in white and we're going to cut it in Night of Navy. Okay, so let me just grab that die really quick. It might still be with my machine. Hang on. No, here it is. Okay, I got it. All right, so that's just this piece here. So I'm just going to cut a little strip I can cut this with. We're going to do the same thing with basic white. And I'll set that off to the side. I grabbed a card base earlier and started cutting it up. So I'm just going to grab that. Okay. I've been known to do that if I'm impatient or if I don't feel like if I don't feel like going over to grab my basic white, because now half of my craft space is on the complete other side of the room. Okay, so we'll cut 2 of these as well. So this is a pretty simple card. Now, I am somebody who likes to add in embellishments and ribbon, but I seem to be on this real streak of not adding embellishments. So I don't know. I was thinking about adding some boho blue pieces, but I think I'm just going to leave it. So I'm going to get my little mini, Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine. It should be right around my feet here somewhere. Here it is. Okay. And we're just going to run this through 2 times. Okay. All right. Tracy, have you ever done the paper weaving? If you're still here, anybody who happens to be watching live with me. And even if you're watching in the replay, leave me a comment because I can always reply later. Okay. All right. Now I can see that that is shaking when I die cut. I'm working on it, you guys. I'm going to figure it out. It's really going to come down to me getting just a proper craft table, like something that's really super heavy. All right. And hi, Roberta. How are you doing? Tracy says, this is a great technique. I haven't done this for a while, but this pattern is perfect for this. Yeah. I love this for this. I think it's going to be so much fun to play with the different patterns. You know what I almost did? I ended up not doing it, but I was thinking about making rosettes with this paper. So if you guys like paper pleating techniques as opposed to paper weaving, there's a lot of fun different paper pleating that you can do too. And I think this is perfect paper for that as well. I was so close to doing the little rosettes and using the rosette and then like having the circle be like around the edge, like so. What am I trying to say? The border. So like it would frame in the rosette. So if you guys want to do that, I think that would be really pretty. I know that rosettes aren't for everyone. For people who don't like bulky cards, like if you don't want to mail a bulky card, then that might not be your jam. But if you're putting, a card in with a gift that you're handing to somebody, like we're going to a communion this weekend, then rosette would be perfect. Okay, so I am going to say you made my day. We're going to stamp that in as your afternoon. Can't believe I did that. Every time I look at this, I'm like, I can't believe I did that. Okay. And then I have, here it is. Oh, brand new ink pads. Aren't they fabulous? I'm going to stand up for this. Okay. Just because this really lines up like edge to edge. But it will work. Okay. All right, and so we'll go ahead and put this together. I can't wait to get some new ribbon. I'm excited for some new ribbon and some new embellishments. It's so nice that, we get these different catalogs because sometimes we just want to play with new things. And that is really where my head's at. And I think it's because we know we're so close to launch, right? Pleating would be fantastic. Yeah. Roberta says she's good. Is Connor feeling better? A little bit. Yes. We're still not sleeping great. Still not sleeping. But now that we're starting to get the medicine in, he loves staying home from school. I can tell you that. So he enjoys, he really enjoys not being there. But it's been bumpy. And I don't know, because he can't tell me, I don't know how long his ear was hurting him, but it turned red and it was really hot. And I just knew, we were having a problem. Okay. So I'm going to put a little more glue on our little edges here. And then we'll just pop this down. And if you guys would rather use like tear and tape or seal or something, that's fine. I haven't tried seal with this technique. As long as you're gluing it as you go, it really shouldn't, be that bad. Now let me hold this up because when I'm sitting down, I never get the line up right. Let's see. I'm trying so hard to train myself how to craft when I'm sitting because this chair is very big and bulky off camera. And I have about, let me see, 1, 2, 3, probably 20, 30. I probably have 50 old paper pumpkin kits sitting right behind my chair, so I can't back up too much because I am determined to organize my paper pumpkins this month in April because they did an organizer in the kit. I am determined to do it. So I'm just going to do like a little bit of like a shadow thing here where we're just going to kind of glue this piece right behind. So let's do that. I'm sorry I didn't get my email out timely, but I have sent a lot of emails recently, so maybe in a way it's good. I will send out my replay though. Okay, there we go. I never launched 2 events on the same day, so that was a little bit weird, but it was a lot of fun. And I'm so grateful to those who've already registered and Like I said, registration will be open until May 1st. I can go back over that again in the end of the video here for anybody who may have missed it. And then we're just going to pop this like right down into the corner. So I'm just going to kind of put it like right along the seam. And then if you want your card to be flat, right, like this is great, you could just leave it totally flat. I'm going to pop mine up on dimensionals because I do like a little bit of dimension. And a regular size dimensional would be fine. Let me see if I still have them here. Yeah, I do. Okay. Yeah. If you're just doing one strip, it's probably still okay, but I would probably do minis, but since we're doubled up here. And then I'm just going to hold. You guys can see that okay? And then I'm just going to pop that right down here. And if I was going to put embellishments on it, I would just pop them just right around and about, like right here. But I'll leave it flat. We'll let the paper weaving be the fun. And if I was going to do embellishments, I would probably do some embellishments right around here on this card. So here is what the paper weaving cards look like. Okay, and this way, because we recreated this one, I don't have to show you my mistake one. But what I will show you for anybody who is, you know, popping back on here. So in the beginning of the video, I was showing everybody that I messed this up. I put the adhesive on the wrong side and now it's all sticky. So Tracy is suggesting an eraser. I think I'm going to try that, but like it's all over. I don't know if you guys can tell, like it's all over it. But what I was trying to do was have the pattern, like do a window card essentially, and then just pop this on. So you would only put the adhesive on the edges. And then you would actually get to see both sides of the paper weaving, right? Because this is a technique that takes a few minutes. It takes some patience. It's some effort. Like this is a card, just like if you're making a quilt, right? Just like if you're sewing or you're piecing together a quilt, like this is made with love. So why not show both sides if you can get away with it, right? But I did not make mine perfect. So I will fully admit to you now, like when I'm doing this stuff on camera for you guys, I always try to show current product only, meaning or upcoming product or product that's going to be coming out in this case on May 2nd. This paper will be coming out on May 2nd. But so I cut this rectangle with my trimmer, but if I was off camera, I would so be using my rectangle dies. So can I just say that even though they're retiring? Did they sell out? Do we know if the stitch rectangle sold out? They probably did. And I should probably shout out to you guys. I know that I've been talking about the last chance sale all month. So this is the last week for it. So last chance sale ends basically when the new catalog begins. So just something to note there if you're still looking for some savings or if you've had your eye on something. But I know that so many of us are making our shopping lists for the new catalog. I was just working on my shopping list today. I cannot wait. Okay. Joan is, hi, Joan. How are you? Joan is saying, love the navy pattern paper. I know. This paper is so pretty. This is the Countryside Inn paper. Should I say that? Let me see if I can type this and pop it up here. Create a banner. So this is called Countryside Inn Planner Series paper. Available 5/2/23. See if I can show that. So that's what this paper is called. I absolutely love it. Okay, so I don't know if I can actually still show the paper share information, but let me see if I can just switch back to me. Let me go back to comments. And Roberta says only 4 days left for last chance. So last chance, just in case anybody doesn't know, are the retiring items from our current catalogs. We have 2 catalogs that are retiring right now. The mini January to April 2023 catalog, and then also the annual catalog 2022 to 2023. And then this is our newbie. This is the new catalog. I can't open it yet, but I can show you the cover. So I'll do that. Okay, so this is our new guy. This catalog is going to be starting on May 2nd, which is a Tuesday. So I will be able to go live and do a catalog walkthrough that day. I think I can speak for, well, I'll just speak for myself, but I would guess that all demonstrators are really excited to actually be able to open this catalog and show you what's inside, because they are just the most fabulous samples. They really did such a great job with everything in this catalog. So I'm super excited about it. Okay, let me see if I can switch. Okay, so thank you guys for spending some time. Oh, my aunt is here, my namesake, my Aunt Melinda. Hello. So thank you guys so much for spending some time with me tonight. Sorry, I'm a little bit of a hot mess, but when Connor's a little bit down for the count, so am I. So, just in a different way. But yeah, we're going to have a lot of fun with this new catalog. So I'll be live on launch day. We'll do a catalog walkthrough. For those who are interested in the information for my paper share or in color club, I am going to be ordering the product on launch day for those, which is why the registration window is so short. So let me take this banner down because I will forget. Okay, so I will get all of the information for today's cards up on the blog. My goal is to get that posted by tomorrow. I'll get the replay posted. I'll get an email out with the information, but you can always email me or message me for the information as well. So let me just put my email back up one more time. So if you want to email me, let me know if you're interested in the paper share or the club. Moody Mauve is the first color for In Color Club that I am taking registration for right now. And then registration will close on Monday. So it will close on May 1st and the order will be put in on May 2nd. Okay, so if you guys have any questions about that, but I have flyers. I can email you the flyer. I can email you the registration link. And then I will get information up on the blog about it. And if you're on my email list, then you have already received the information, but I'll be sending it out. I'll be sending reminders just because I literally only have like 6 days for the registration period. And we're already on April 27th. So definitely something I'm going to be talking about until that happens. And I see I have a couple more comments here. So let me just switch back. Thanks, Tracy. Oh, Teresa says, sorry, I missed your live. I'll have to watch the recording. No problem. Yeah, I'll have the replay up. We made, let me just show you. We made some paper weaving cards, and I know it's hard to see with my lighting. It's a little too bright, so I'll move it. But yeah, so we did some paper weaving tonight with our cards. So thank you guys so much for hanging out. I really appreciate you being here. And I will see you again. Actually, my next actual live is Tuesday, which is launch day. So if I can sneak one more live in there prior to launch day, I'll do that just so that I could talk about In Color Club one more time. But tonight I was talking a little bit more about the paper share, but I actually have registration going on for both. They're separate events. So I know some of you only are interested in one or the other, and then some have registered for both, which is wonderful. We're going to have a lot of fun with that. For In Color Club, the class is included. It's part of the pricing. And for the paper share, I made it optional. So the class is like an add-on if you want. So all 5 months of In Color Club will include a class so that you can make things with that month's color and products that you're getting in your club. And she says, oh, beautiful. I have to learn those. Yeah, you're going to like these, Teresa. They're a lot of fun. And they're not hard. They just take a little bit of time. All right. Well, thank you guys. And I will see you. Have a great weekend. And hopefully I can get one more live in there, maybe a little spontaneous one before Tuesday. If not, I'll see you for the huge, big catalog launch on Tuesday. And leave me a comment. Let me know if there's any particular item, if you've gotten your catalog that is like your must have. I would love to know. All right. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.